For years, foldable phones have lived in that space between exciting and experimental. They look futuristic, they feel innovative, but for most people, they've never quite felt essential. And every year, the same question comes up: when will Apple make one? Because let's be honest, the moment Apple enters a new category, that's usually when the category goes mainstream. Well, according to new leaks, that moment might finally be close. And if these reports are accurate, Apple isn't just building a folding phone. They're rethinking how a foldable should work from the inside out. Let's start with something small, but actually huge: the internal layout. Instead of splitting components across both halves of the device like most foldables, Apple is reportedly placing the motherboard entirely on one side. That means fewer cables running through the hinge, one of the most common failure points in foldable designs. Translation: better durability, fewer long-term issues. Very Apple. That design change also explains a big shift in the button layout. The volume and power buttons are expected to sit on the top right edge, more like an iPad-style placement. And here's the surprise: the power button may include Touch ID. Yes, Touch ID could be making a comeback. Why? Because foldables complicate Face ID. The device can be opened, closed, or positioned in different orientations. A fingerprint sensor built into the power button is simple, fast, and reliable no matter how you're holding the phone. Now let's talk about the design. The outer display is rumored to feature a single punch-hole camera, no notch, no dynamic island. Just one clean circular cutout. If true, this could be one of the cleanest front designs Apple has ever shipped. Around the back, leaks suggest a dual camera setup with a flatter, more subtle camera bump, something closer to a minimalist design than the large square modules we see on current Pro models. Even the color options sound very controlled. Reports say the device may launch with just 2 colors. That limited selection makes sense for a first-generation product positioned at the premium end. But the real story might be battery life. One of the biggest compromises in foldable phones has always been endurance. 2 displays, a complex hinge, and thin bodies usually mean smaller batteries. The leaks suggest Apple is using a stacked internal design to free up more space for battery capacity. If they manage to deliver strong battery life in a slim foldable, that could be the real breakthrough. Not the folding screen, but the everyday practicality. And that fits Apple's strategy. They rarely rush into new categories. They wait. They watch what competitors like Samsung have done, learn from the weaknesses, and then try to refine the experience. Foldables have been around for years now. We've seen the excitement, the durability concerns, the battery compromises, and the premium prices. Apple entering the space now suggests something important: they believe the technology is finally ready. The rumored launch window? September, right in line with Apple's traditional fall event. And you can already imagine the moment. The standard iPhone updates, and then, one more thing. A folding iPhone on stage. Instantly, one of the most talked about devices of the year. But the big question is this: will this be the foldable that finally makes everyday users care? The one that turns foldables from a tech enthusiast niche into something normal? Or will it be a high-end showcase device, impressive, expensive, and limited to early adopters? Either way, if even half of these leaks are true, Apple isn't just making a folding phone. They're trying to redefine what a foldable should be. And if there's one company that knows how to turn interesting technology into must-have technology, it's Apple. So if this gets announced in September, are you buying on day one? Or waiting to see if it unfolds perfectly?